All right, so it's great seeing you again, Jeremy. And so the
Yeah.
topic for today is, transforming negative self-talk into positive affirmations. And man, I've been wanting to say a lot. Like I had like a lot of things to say about it, to be honest. Like even right now, as I was going back to looking at my notes and seeing that, I was just like, how many times that I had that, like all those negative self-talks, and then it just, as I'm thinking about it, just gives me several stories. Like I'm sure you remember, like Kris Krohn, for example.
Yeah.
That was my breakthrough, you know. And it's like, I mean, it's great, but before I get to it, but how you been, by the way?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's it's nice being back on here, and I know we're going to be doing this every other week, so this is exciting. I, this is an exciting topic today, talking about this one. Because I think this is something a lot of people battle with, and I know, of course, I'm one. I know you've battled with it. I still every day still battle with this, about the negative talk and stuff like that. So um, I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about some of this stuff, and um, this is awesome. So I'm super excited about this.
So there was some other things I can remember right now that I can recall is um just thinking like, I'm not good at talking to people. I'm not I'm not that social type, or I'm just a quiet person,
Yeah,
Like I've had a lot of those, like, it's limiting beliefs, I guess, or those negative self-talk, like, I'm not I can't make calls because I'm not that person who make calls, right? I'm just that's not me. Um I'll just embarrass myself or something, or I'm not good at talking in front of the crowd, or just stuff like that. It's like the list goes on and on and on, right? Um and it's like that's not what I wanted though. Like I want to be different. But I feel like because of where when I was, as I was, I guess, raised, I come from a family that's like just the norm, I guess, like everyone else. Like, go to school, get good grade, go to college and all that stuff. And
yeah,
for me, I've tried it, maybe like my first semester or something, but it just wasn't for me, And I feel like there was like a lot in my mind, and I needed to clean that up, So that's whenever I went to this event, like from Kris Krohn, the Limitless one, and
yeah.
that changed everything. They go
That
through,
was what
huh?
that was before like I went. So
Yeah,
that was one of the original ones that he had going on.
that's right. Cause now what do they call it? Have it all? Is that
Yeah, yeah,
okay? That was next. Yeah, so I
yeah.
went to one is Limitless, and I've never been through something like that. I guess I was at a moment where I was like, do I really want to stay where I'm at, or do I want to change something? And it's up to me, right? Do I want to make that change to better myself? So yeah, I started reading books here and there. Um, and then I came across Kris Krohn. I came across his videos. And the more I watched them, I'm like, okay, I gotta meet him. I gotta go in person. So I took a
So
whole week off. Huh?
so how did you find Chris Krohn?
Um,
I know
I
you said
guess
you're reading books, right? So like you're reading books.
I was
Like,
reading real estate books. I was reading like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Um,
okay.
I read that one, and as I was reading that one, it just talked about real estate. So when I Googled things about real estate, I saw different strategies. And I saw one of them was like, well, lease options. And I think I just saw someone talked about it. So I was like kind of getting interested in it. So I look up like lease options, real estate or something like that.
Yeah,
Um, Eventually Kris Krohn came on, and I was just like, I love his energy, his like the fire in him. And it's like he's shining his light upon others, not just me, but many others. And I
yeah.
feel like I want to do the same thing. And so as I watched several videos, probably took a couple days, but then I was like, okay, I gotta go fly there. And I saw he had like a link or something. I went to the link, and I saw his website, the event that he was doing, and I was like, should I go? Should I not go? Um, should I? And then I did. I went, I
So,
flew there.
so
It's
when was it? When was this that you went to that event?
and I believe that was possibly like what 5 years ago. I think now. I think it's been 5 years. Is it 4 or 5 years? Something like that. It's been a while. Like it's been a long time that I've been through that. Um, so from there, like, hold on, give me a second here. From there, basically, mm, I don't know, just things change. Like in the beginning, I had to meet different people, right? Like I had to meet, like, I believe I was meeting Jaden and other people from his team. I just started meeting different people, and it was all new to me. But I guess inside of me, I was like nervous and shy about it. But another part of me wanted to, you know, like talk to people. Like I feel like I needed to force myself to talk to people, and the more I did it, the easier it got. But it still wasn't easy. It wasn't until I actually went inside the doors, and then I saw Kris Krohn, and he brought other speakers on there, and then I thought it was just amazing. Just hearing him. There's more to the event, but obviously, I'm like, I just recommended people to go instead of me just talking about it.
So I have a question. I remember when we first showed up there, and that first day. Do you remember? I don't know if they did it at your event when you went, but were they all standing there on the when you first walk into like the conference room where they do everything, like the stage and everything? Were they all standing there giving you high fives and like
They
stuff
do
like
that.
that?
Yeah, they still have that.
I remember that. Walked in, they're all cheering, giving you high fives, thumbs up, and stuff like that, hugs, and
I'm not used to that. It's not something that I'm used to seeing that energy. So it was fun. Like it was really fun, and it was a blessing too. So yeah, like that was my breakthrough. Like that event was my breakthrough. So like believe breakthrough work is like I mentioned earlier, it's like clearing a bunch of garbage of limited beliefs that clutter like my mind. And basically it's when I started to learn more about mindset and what does it actually mean, like, and how it's like I was limiting myself. I was holding myself back. So I needed to shift that mindset to believing in myself and then identify or basically figure out what is it that's holding me back. Like I mentioned earlier how I was saying I was shy, I didn't like I'm not a social person. I mean, all these all these negative self-talk that I was saying to myself, and but they were just limiting me. They're limiting beliefs that were holding me back. And I feel like everyone journey is that you can create your own life. Like your life can be you can create your own design, right? Rather
yeah.
than by staying in default. Like in default is meaning like being like everyone else. So instead of doing that, identify what's limiting you, and enjoy that journey. Because during that journey, you're creating your life, you're designing it, and then you're going through all these obstacles, all these paths that will lead you to where you're meant to go. We think like I think before too, even after that journey, there were still things I had to go through, right? Like, for example, I would see friends of mine or people that I've known that like they weren't in real estate, and then they were beginning in real estate, but now they're doing great things. And then for me, I'm just like I'm still growing, but they've passed me. And I used to feel like maybe I'm not doing it enough. Maybe I do something wrong, or maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm just being too nice about it. Maybe I should just change something. Like, how is this person doing better than me? But then I was comparing myself. And I feel like that was another
Yeah.
limiting thing that I have going on for me. That's when I just broke through that, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna think like that, and I know better. And so I changed that. But what I'm saying is that we all go through different types of limiting beliefs, right? Different things of self-talk. There's several of them. Um, but changing them is what helps, right? Like, okay, negative self-talk going to a positive affirmation. What do you do to change that? Um,
So
mhm,
so I got a question, Mark. So
yeah.
what was some of the things that I mean, I'm sure you want to share probably. So what were some of the things? I think you probably maybe you touched on it, was like you're saying, well, I'm not good on the phone. I'm not. What do you think? Two questions, I guess. First one is, what, when you went to Kris Krohn, what kind of like was the kind of like breakthrough for you there, that you kind of realized that how these thoughts were holding you back? And then I guess the second one would be like, is it those thoughts, like you were saying to yourself, like being on the phone, I'm not good enough, I'm not, a very shy person. What were some of your thoughts? And then on that.
Okay. So if I understand her correctly, is basically the first one is what was it that I guess changed that limiting beliefs, right? That was the first one. And then the
Yeah.
second one was what was the second one?
I guess maybe you might answer this one, and it was some of the thoughts that you used to have. So like, because like my when I went there too, there was that break, too. I know it was a little after you when you went, but like you go through some of the stuff that he's teaching there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is what's been holding me back, and realize it. So I was just wondering, what was that big break for you when you were there? Maybe it's probably similar to what I had. So I was
Okay,
just curious.
makes sense. Yeah, he puts us into like a trance as well, having us like close our eyes and just thinking about those moments, and like he actually helped you figure that out, to dig deeper into what's the source, where is it coming from, right? And that's what he did to help us to figure out what those limiting beliefs are. And
Mhm.
he had us write them down too on paper, and we did certain tasks and stuff. I'm sure you remember those.
Yeah.
So there were several limiting beliefs that I had, things like, I'm not good on the phone. Like, I don't think I can do this. Maybe I should just go to regular school, go to college, and just get into computer, I guess, repair or something. Like I love computers, so maybe I should just get into that. And but then my mind shifts into something else as to wait, I'm talking about negative self talk here. I got to recall like what Kris Krohn told me, what he's saying right now about changing that to something positive affirmation, right? Like when I say I'm not good at talking, I have to like change that into like saying that no, I'm great at talking. I am gonna get better. I am good at talking, and
Yeah.
like just having those positive affirmations as to I feel like just saying it, it creates it. It's like I'm manifesting it. So I did it once, I did it twice, and then many times until I get it. And it doesn't happen overnight, right? It might not. But for me, it's like I would try to shift it. But even there, I was just like not that social. And I remember Jaden was telling me, could we all take a picture together? I don't have that picture anymore. He has it.
Uh,
And he just texted me a couple days ago too. That was pretty cool. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna catch up with him later. And he took a picture of us, and I saw it, and I was like, I was too serious, because I was so serious. I'm like just quiet. It's all new to me, It's funny, like it's cool. But I will always remember that, and like I mentioned, like it's everyone has it. Everyone's been through it. Everyone has those negative self talks. When I was saying like I'm not good at talking, and next thing you know, I was really good. Like fast forward right there, it's like I got hired to do acquisition for another company, and every week I will at least have two contracts for them,
yeah.
and they love the way I have my conversations, and they didn't teach me, they just gave me a little guide and then just do it, and it just became easier and easier, and I would just like watch YouTube videos, I would study, I would listen to how other people have conversation with sellers, and then just how they have conversation with people in general. And then that helps me out more to get a better understanding, to have those conversations. So that's why when everyone hears me on the phone, they're like, "Wow, you've been doing this for a while," and I'm like, "Well, not really, but it's just because of you
Yeah.
know implementing those studies, those training for myself." It's like I told myself, "I am good on the phone. I am confident. I can do this." Saying those things, it's like I was manifesting it, and it made me want to go study, watch YouTube videos, watch how other people talk. It's like it's like I'm telling myself, giving myself instructions as to what to do without me
Mhm.
even realizing it. And next thing you know, I got good at it. So like it's like a mindset of believing that anything is possible, obviously in the balance of natural laws, right? Um, it's just a mindset of believing in yourself that you can do it. So
And
that's
how long do you think if I took you to start to get some of those things, like feeling like getting your mind to kind of shift? It's like because we learn one way, right? We're doing this for years and years, and now we got to get our mind to go the other way.
mhm.
I'm sure it didn't happen right away for you. Like for me, I'm still battling it, right? Like I still have those days where I feel like I'm positive and positive, and like everything's good, like nothing's bothering me like that. And then yeah, I still have those days where it's like those thoughts are still there. And for
Mhm.
me, I think it's learning to, um, I guess, catch it right away as fast as I can, and kind of, you know, from letting it happen too long, I shorten that period. But how long did it take you to start realizing that to get that mind to shift?
That's a great question. Like after the events, when I left there, it's like I cannot just come back like normal, right? I went there and I see all this positivity, the energy, even just there in general. Like
Yeah,
a place of positivity. It's hard to explain. It's like going there and then coming back home to Houston, I'm like, okay, now I gotta go back to work, the usual, and I'm just like, I can't stay the same. It's like
yeah,
when you see something, when you experience something, you cannot stay the same. You cannot do what everyone else is doing. So I thought, you know what? I want to get better. I want to help people, like same way Kris Krohn helped people as well. The way he shined his light upon others, I want to do the same thing. So if that means like reading more books about psychology or about mindset and just improving on that so that way I can help others, I feel like that will help me more as well. So like the journey was for me as to just take action, just do it by reading books, by trying wholesaling, by working for someone that's involved in real estate, getting myself involved in that network, relationships, and
yeah,
meeting new people. I feel like all the connections, all the relationships, all the books is what's been molding me and shaping me, improving me throughout my journey without me even realizing it. And I feel like that's what helped me to be the person I am today. So when you mentioned how long it took me, well, it was a journey, yes. Because even though when I came back, I can't. I was like, man, I'm still struggling with a few of these things. But just because I struggle with it, there's another part of me that says like this pushing myself. It's like a war within myself, and it's like the positivity is winning because it knows and experienced what it was like at that event, and it doesn't want to go back to how it was. So it's like that war within, and I feel like because of that, it's what pushed myself to keep on doing the things. That means reading books. That means getting up early, going to the gym, or improving all those things, and then even going to boxing because I felt like that helped me. I was like discipline. It helped me. I was talking to more people. It's like I was putting myself in situations where I was uncomfortable, where I'm not
mhm,
used to, and I did those things because it's the only way for me to push myself to get out of that comfort zone and get used to being uncomfortable. And I feel like the more I do it, the more I grow, the more I improve. It's like my skills improve more and more the more I do it. And I mean, that's what I can say about that.
yeah. That's awesome. That's, I mean, man, I love that. That's good. Because like my biggest thing when I went up there, it's like I knew, these thoughts and what they were doing to me. And one thing that I took from that whole thing that was really big for me when I was up there was I think growing up, we're maybe like taught certain things from what, you know, the people that are raising us, whoever that may be, your mom or your dad or whatever, whoever's raising you, right? Or being around those people. And they instill these fears in you, right? Of something, maybe because they went to go try something and it was didn't go their way, right? Like let's say for example, like real estate, right? Maybe you have that uncle or that cousin or somebody, right, that went and tried to do real estate and they had a bad experience. And so they, as you're growing up, they tell you these things like, don't do that. Like, it makes you, it's gonna make you do this and money, like the money mindset thing, right? They give you these bad thoughts about money and stuff, saying like, uh, money makes people greedy and stuff like that. So as you grow up, you start to believe those things, those thoughts. And I think that was something that I really, when I went there to Kris Krohn, that was the Have It All one. And that was something that he taught us, is that we're living in fear. We're taking these thoughts, and these thoughts are from people that we were close to. They instilled them in us, and now we live by those thoughts, right? And it's holding us back. Like you take the money thing, and you're saying, I don't want to be rich because of the you know that's what my mom used to tell me or something. For example, like, I'm not saying my mom did this, but I'm saying like, they're saying, oh, money makes you greedy, money makes you greedy. That person was already greedy and then they got rich, right? And I think those are some of those thoughts. When I went there, I was living by a lot of those thoughts. Like a lot of those things were holding me back. And I was always putting those in my head, like, I can't do this, I can't do this because of whatever reason. And that was something I struggled for a really, really long time until he kind of pulled that out. It was like you're living in those fears and those thoughts. And that was like my negative talk for me, and I still battle it at times because I feel like I shouldn't be doing this because of this and this, and it's because somebody else told me that when I was younger. I feel like I'm not blaming them, it's my responsibility now that I'm older. But those thoughts, yeah, those negative thoughts, that was something I've really battled with for a really long time. I still do sometimes, I'm sure you do too, but it's definitely there. So
So what helps you, like, when it still happened? Like, what is it that helps you to keep pushing through or to change that?
um that's a great question. um I think as I've gotten older and stuff like that, it's became, now that I'm understanding more, I think it becomes now for me is just identifying that I'm having those thoughts. And Jennifer always helps me out with this a lot. It's saying, okay, those thoughts are there, and are they are they bringing me any good? Like I'm putting in energy into a thought that's not, it's not doing me any good. It's just sitting there and it's just draining me, and I'm wasting energy on something like that when I could be thinking about this thought. And it's something that I've battled with for a long time. And I think now, I was talking to Jennifer one time, and I think it's just kind of in my own head. Sometimes just learning to shut those off, kind of battle yourself in your head, those thoughts, and battle on pushing those ones away and bringing in something positive. That's kind of what's been working for me. And the other factor, I think that the other thing that works for me is learning when you start to get those thoughts to catch them as soon as you can and stop that. Um, I still have those days where I think I wake up and, I have one of those days where I just, all those thoughts are there, but it's now not, not letting that, ruin your whole entire day. It's trying to catch it right away and move to the other thoughts and move forward.
Mm.
That's
That
probably
rem-
been the hard.
it reminded me of what Kris Krohn said. Like he mentioned this too at the event. Is it serving you? Is that belief serving you? Like that's what you reminded me when you mentioned those things. Like because I had to ask myself that question too. It's like, is
Yeah.
this serving me? If it's not serving me, then change it. Change that self talk because that can help improve confidence, motivation when facing like challenges, right?
Yeah.
So changing that, like basically shifting that self talk to improve all that. And because we will always have it, like something will always come up, whether it's new or old, but then improving it more to, well, shifting it. I guess I can say shifting that and just, yeah, that's what I can say about that. Just shifting that self talk.
Yeah, and it comes down to, somebody else told me this one time. It's, you learn that one way of thinking all the time. Well, can also, you're not gonna unlearn that way, but what you would do is learn a new way, you know, and that kind of just pushes that old way out a little bit. But it's not like you're gonna ever unlearn those thoughts. They're always going to be there. It's just learning a new way and learning how to, battle those. And um, I think that's been the biggest thing. So learning and catching them. So, and like how you just said, Kris Krohn, that was I think I remember him talking about that too. Like how'd you word it again? Um,
Is it
how'd you word
serving
that?
you? Like, is it
Yeah,
serving you?
yeah. Is this like you're wasting all this energy in that? Like, is it doing anything for you?
Yeah, shifting that because he teaches us about you can have it all. You're limitless, and you can do it too. You're born to. You have all those resources, all that knowledge inside of you. You just gotta let it out. You're
Yeah,
capable of it. Yeah, it's a skill that you can learn. Like having conversations, sales skills. Those are all those things you can learn. The question is, do you want to do it? Do you want to take action? You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
all. It is. Just do you want to do it? Yes or no. If you do, then go for it. Take those action steps. I see it many times. I see many folks struggle with this, and there was someone that I know that he works and just does the minimum. Um, he just does the minimum. Doesn't want to go out there to work. Doesn't want to put the extra hours. Like this is someone who's working like a regular job, for example,
Uh-huh.
and doesn't want to do the work. Just want to do the bare minimum. But when the time does come, when there's an obstacle or a struggle, such as oh, I don't have money to repair my car, or how I need money to get to work now because my car is messed up. So now you need money for work. I mean, to get to work for you put gas in your car and the repairs, but also you need transportation as well.
Yeah,
So if that individual was working, like had that worth ethic of just doing it, regardless of the situation where you're at, he probably wouldn't have felt that way. He probably wouldn't have felt like, oh man, I'm not good enough, man. Now I don't have a car. I need money from my car. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Like now you're putting those self talk, in you. But the thing is, if you think about it, like if you would have probably worked more and have that worth ethic, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And now it's figuring out what is going on. What's the source? So why was it that you weren't working? Dig deeper into that. What was it? You know,
yeah.
what was it that made you not want to go work? What is it that makes you not want to have that worth ethic? What is it? And just asking yourself those questions to figure out where the source is, where is that coming from? And then is it serving you? If it's not serving you, then change it. So that's one of the things I think that Chris Krohn mentioned too. So that was cool. It was
That was
Chris
good.
Krohn, and I think Jaden too helped me out with that as well.
That was good. I like how you put that. Um, wow, that's I like that. I like that a lot. Um, do you have any other thoughts on some of this stuff that
Um, well, no other thoughts. I think we should, I know we're gonna have more things for next time we have one like this. But I do want to recommend some books before we go, right? Like, first of all, I want to say, like, obviously we're all limit like we can have it all. Each and every one of us can have it all. And you are limitless. You are capable of great things. You are here, you have a purpose, you have it. Just find it, take action, and just do it. Doesn't matter what anyone says, doesn't matter where you're coming from, just do it. And a book that I can recommend is The Lies We Believe by Kris Thurman. He's a psychologist. He goes over a lot of things about his patients. Again, that's a book I highly recommend now. And I will put it all, obviously, I'll put it on the description so anyone can look it up and find it and, just read it or audiobook it.
oh, and I don't think I've read that book, and that's something I guess I will add on my list. But that was really well said what you just said there, Mark. That was great. That's definitely a book I haven't read. And, Also, you can read the Kris Krohn book. He does have the I don't know if you read it, the Limitless. He does have that book too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I have it here. I'm gonna have to read it again too.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a while since I read that book. Um, and he goes over a lot of what we're talking about right now in that book, manifesting and stuff like that. So that would be my book recommendation, I think, on this one. But
Limitless.
yeah, I definitely would like to read the book that you recommended. So
Yeah, the lies we believe.
yeah,
It's an interesting one. I think I read that one twice, and I think I heard it once, the audiobook. So it's really good. Definitely recommend it. It just gives you a different perspective.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. Wow, that was
Awesome.
awesome.
Awesome. Well, definitely we'll have another one in about what 2 weeks. So all I can say is just continue taking action for everyone that's listening, and obviously you can always reach out to us on Instagram, and that's pretty much it.
All right, all right, we're out, right?
We're out. All right, take care.